ganz herzlich auf der Bühne willkommen Larry Bagby und Tobias Jelinek.
Oh, and who's this guy?
Look at that.
That must be magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Jones.
It's so great that you're here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're going to be down. Thank you.
Hi. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Okay. If there are any questions, please just come to me. I will sit here for you.
First of all, welcome to our stage.
Thank you.
And we would like to know, of course, at first, is this your first Comic-Con in Germany?
This is our first Comic-Con in Germany.
I did one back in 2007 in Düsseldorf, but this is my first time in a long time, yes.
So did you guys have any chance to do some sightseeing in Germany?
We arrived last night.
Oh, you did?
So, what day is it? I don't know.
Will you spend some time here, or are you flying straight back after?
We're going to go from here to Dublin, Ireland for 6 days, me and my fiance. But we're here in Germany until Monday, so.
Oh, okay, that doesn't give you a lot of time to do anything.
How much time?
But we're staying in, is it Essen?
Yeah.
Essen?
Yes.
Which was one we got to go for a walk. There's a lovely park there, and then seeing some of the pubs and cafes. So just a little walking tour so far, but I've really enjoyed it.
My favorite part of any country that I go to is the people, and all these Germans I'm meeting today are really lovely.
Wow,
really
thank
lovely.
you. So let's talk about Hocus Pocus for a bit, if that's all right. So to start off, the movie didn't perform as well, probably initially, as people had hoped. That might be fair to say. So how did you feel about that?
Well, we were all expecting it to be a blockbuster, but it's a Halloween movie that should have probably come out in October. That would have been perfect. But it came out in theaters in July, opposite all of the other big blockbuster movies. Jurassic Park, but yeah. So we didn't have a chance of doing well at the box office. But over the years, you all have made it popular by watching it again and again on television, DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, streaming, Disney Plus, whatever. So thank you for keeping it popular all these years. Yeah.
But I guess you wouldn't have believed that there would be a sequel anytime in the future.
I didn't think so.
No.
So when I got the phone call, it's like, are you kidding me? Of course I'm doing. Yeah.
When we got the phone call, oh, wait a minute.
I love, Doug he's described in the past, with a lot of films, it'll start up here, and then over the years it kind of dwindles, but with Hocus Pocus it's been the exact opposite. And here we are, what are we at now, 31 years, yeah, and it just seems to get bigger and bigger in an odd way.
I mean, it's pretty amazing to think that today you see kids dress up as the witches from Hocus Pocus.
I get a lot of Billy Butcherson cosplayers too, a
yes,
lot.
Of course.
We even have, there was a couple years that they trended on TikTok, people dressing up as Jay and Ice. The ultimate was my cousin who goes to Disneyland a lot. She's part of the advertising for Disney with the products. She sent us a photo of two guys at Disneyland that were dressed as Jay and Ice, and we met them at one of the cons last.
Didn't you have somebody show up that was dressed up as both of you, and the kid had ice shaved in the back of his head? Yeah, that's commitment.
Oh, indeed it is. So, do you think that audiences today somehow get it in a way that back then they didn't? Would that be fair to say?
I think a lot of it we now, nostalgia is such a big thing with different TV shows and with films. So I don't know if it's in the United States, it plays on television every day in October. So people grew up with it. It's a part of the experiences they shared with their families or with their close friends. So I think it just took a good deal of time for that to really grow and catch root.
And also, Halloween as a holiday has gotten more and more popular over the years. So I think that's why our movie plays more now than ever before as well, because Halloween is a big deal.
So that's so you were on the sequel, and you guys unfortunately were not.
None of the kids didn't make it. They went with the Immortals. Once again, the Immortals win.
Just the witches and the zombie, that's all.
Yeah.
But did you see it?
Yes, I watched it on Disney Plus like
Yeah.
the night it came out. It was a bittersweet, but it's really wonderful, and it was. I love seeing Doug, and his character in this was even greater than the first time, and the witches, to see them again.
You didn't like Doug in the...
I hated him in the first one. I didn't like his choices. No, I loved Doug. I'm just saying, it was one of my favorite parts of the second film, and we got to do the 25th anniversary, which was where we, as a cast and all the producers and Kathy Nate Jimmy was there, and so that was kind of like the reunion, I think, that we all were waiting for.
Yeah, the 25-year anniversary was televised on Freeform channel in the United States. So it was a big event with a live audience, and it was so much energy and excitement for the movie and at 25 years. So the sequel happened because of all the love for the first movie, for sure.
What was it like meeting everybody again 25 years after the movie?
It's like we look at each other and go, wow, you're older, right?
It was the first time, really, that everyone had come together. We didn't work with Doug when we shot the film. We hadn't ever met face to face, and so it was very exciting. Thousands of fans came. They had flown in. You had cosplay characters from around the country, and it was the first time the fans had been able to celebrate with the cast, with the producers, with the screenwriter. So there, you don't get to see that happen very often. And it was in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, so for a bunch of Halloween fans, people were over the moon. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So we already talked a bit about nostalgia, and I would like to talk about Stranger Things for a second. So what can you tell us about that?
What can we say? I mean, what's interesting is, like Hocus Pocus, when we were shooting the first season of Stranger Things, nobody knew really what it was, or that it would be the hit that it became. It was, but we all know that it was something special. I mean, they, moving into the second and third season, they really had to favor the CGI as they were creating the universe. That first season, they were still seeing how much of the practical effects they could work into the concept, which is the season I was involved. I was there for the whole shooting of that first season. So it was again very, very special in that way. See, they were looking to be authentic with the 1980s, bring in video game culture as well as those Stephen King, Carpenter, those references that they were looking to play. So another very special experience.
Is Stranger Things something that the lives of these children, these kids, is that something that you guys know from own personal background, like growing up with Stephen King and John Carpenter, Dungeons and Dragons? Was that something that was in your life?
I'm much older than them, so I had The Wizard of Oz to watch when I was a kid.
Doing conventions, when people do come, that's the thing with Hocus Pocus, and with, for me, with the Stranger Things, people come up, and nostalgia is such a big part of it. For a lot of these, for me, I've had a lot of fathers come up to me, and they appreciate being able to share Stranger Things with their children because of the Dungeons and Dragons, the BMX bikes. I don't know if they did that here growing up in the United States. BMX biking is such a big part of what kids were doing when you were allowed to go outside without your parents. Now we don't let kids go outside on their own, but in the 80s, kick them out, and you could go and play and discover monsters and get taken to the down under.
Yeah, the movie or Stranger Things, I loved all the throwbacks to like E.T. with the boys on the bikes and all of those things. That it's very like the suburbs growing up. That feeling of anything could happen. And
Well, and you did. That's the thing. You grew up in. You grew up in a suburb of Los Angeles, Thousand Oaks, which had a bit of that. You know, the reference that you would see in Stranger Things too.
yes, that's true. We love Stranger Things, and Stranger Things have happened.
Yeah, it's true. So, Larry, you were also on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It's about this girl who slays vampires. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. You know, I when I auditioned for the role, the role of the character was Larry, which is my name. So I was always like, okay, I got a pretty good shot at this because my name's at the top of the script. And I went in and I just played this role. I played a lot of bullies and jocks, that type of role. And I booked it, and then a couple months later, I got a call, and Joss asked if I'd be willing to come back and portray that same character. Joss Whedon, the executive producer and writer of the show. But he wanted to make sure I was okay because the character is gay, and that was kind of back in that day. That was pretty. Yeah, in the '90s, that was a bigger deal, and so I really liked the role, and it became. I think I did six or seven episodes over season 2 and 3, and me and my fiance, Vera, we just watched the whole series because I had never seen it, and it's wonderful. I'm glad I got to be a part of such a fun show and well written, and the fans made that show too. Thank you all.
Doug was in it too, in Buffy.
Yeah, and then Doug was in probably the most famous episode
Yeah.
from Buffy the
Fifth
Vampire Slayer, which is
episode, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I was the leader of the Gentleman in the Hush episode. Yeah, of Buffy. So I believe a lot of Buffy fans here. Yeah. Oh, it's a lot.
What were your lines in that?
My lines were. That's about it. Yeah.
That really is a fantastic episode. And so you play Saru, of course, on Star Trek Discovery, which is something we will talk about later.
today, yes,
exactly,
on
when
Star
we
Trek.
do our Star Trek Q&A. So I'd like to know, you've also played, of course, characters on Pan's Labyrinth, Shape of Water, etc. And you tend to be, would it be fair to say, drawn to playing
Creatures and monsters.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
Well, those roles are drawn to me. I never set out to be monsters when I started acting. I wanted to be a goofy next door neighbor on a situation comedy, like a Friends or a Seinfeld. Those are the shows I was. Yeah, because I grew up watching the old sitcoms like I Love Lucy and Gilligan's Island and Mayberry RFD and Gomer Pyle and all that. So I wanted to be like a goofy human. I didn't know that monsters were a career option. So now I know. Yeah, apparently they are.
Larry, what I really need to know, I love music, and is there any chance that there is an instrument in the case? Probably.
That's my gun. So.
Okay. You could use it later.
There's a little guitar here. You want me to pull it out?
I guess so. Let's see it. I guess we should put that to use.
You guys want a little music?
Who's doing the singing? Doug, are you doing the singing?
Sure. Yeah.
We'll mic you up.
Yeah. Team Hocus Pocus here. How about a little Johnny Cash?
All right, Johnny Cash.
Hear the train a-coming, come around bend. I ain't seen sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on. You guys are my hype man. That train keeps a moving. San Antonio. You want to sing with me? When I was just Bagby, my mama told me, son, she said, Larry, always be a good boy. Don't mess around with guns. I shot a man in Reno.
Where?
Just to watch him, Reno, die. That train keeps moving. I hang my head and cry.
Wait, I do have a request. Now, Larry also writes a lot of original songs. He's been working on a new album. So I personally haven't heard anything on the new end. I'd love to hear one of your originals.
Put it right on the spot, aren't you?
Go.
I got one. This is the title track of the album, the new one. It's called Breakdown. Girl, I tried to see it your way. Have you tried to see it my way? Many times find a way through broken hearts with nothing left to say to you. No, I still love you, baby. I don't want to go on hurting every day. Is our love enough to make us want to stay? Gonna have to break down, break down, break down, break down before we ever break. Everybody now. We're gonna have to break down, yeah. Break down before we ever break. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, that's how.
Woo! You got half the song. You heard it here first. The whole reason we came to Germany was for this premiere.
Thank you so much. And that already brings us to our next question, which is, in your case, I think I already know the answer to what profession would have interested you if you hadn't become an actor. And in your case, I believe that's probably musician.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's very close. It's actually magic. No. Yes, music is definitely a great hobby, and I got to play in the Johnny Cash film Walk the Line, and I played the upright bass in that. That was one of my favorite movies because I got to play music and act, and that's when my worlds collide. That's the best.
So how about you guys?
If I wasn't an actor, I probably would have been a nurse. Something about the hands-on healing thing with patients is that's a love of mine as well.
I think teaching would probably be in there. Now, is anyone here familiar with Waldorf schools? That's German. So my parents in California, they opened a Waldorf school. So that was my early education, and I'm a huge fan of the, very different than what most kids get in the public schools in the United States. So I think somewhere in there.
So
Are there any questions? Okay. What's your name? Emily it is. Okay.
So I got one for Larry. You are an actor, and as we already heard, you're a singer too. What do you prefer, being a singer or an actor?
I like them both. I used to say, music is the priority, but acting has really been the thing that's allowed me to be able to sing on the side. So I love them both, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick singing just because it's also therapy for me. It's relaxing. Good question. And now I'll never do another movie, so thank you very much.
So I guess what are your next projects? Star Trek Discovery ended, we all know this by now.
Yeah,
Is there anything new you can tell us about?
Right, season 5 of Star Trek Discovery is airing right now. I think episode 6 just went up, and I'm not sure about here in Germany if Paramount Plus. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Yeah. Also, I just finished filming my last part of season 6 of What We Do in the Shadows. Anybody? Thank you. That's a funny vampire show that I've loved being Betelnasanas on. So that will start airing probably, I'm guessing, later this year. I don't know when. And then I've finished a few independent movies that are coming out. So titles that you wouldn't mean anything to you yet, but I have more movies coming out that I've already finished. So keep track of me on social media.
And would you want to be back for Starfleet Academy as Saru?
That's the only show that I could cross over to. And I asked our showrunner, Alex Kurtzman, I asked him when our show was ending and I knew that Starfleet Academy was coming, I asked him about Tilly, played by Mary Wiseman. I said, can you tell me, is Tilly going to be a part of Starfleet Academy? All he said was, well, I'd like for all of you to guest star at some point. So that was very nice of him to say. Whether it happens or not, I don't know.
And what about you, Tobias? What are your next projects?
So next, I just finished. We'll be familiar with Audible out here. So just finished a detective drama series where I was the lead villain, and then there's a film I'm waiting to hear on, hopefully in the next week or two. So a film and really this drama series that I just finished recording. Those are the next. As Doug said, social media is the best way to just stay up on what's happening and whatnot. Yeah.
I did a movie last summer with Kevin Costner, and it's his Western series movies that he's doing called Horizon, and the first of 4 films comes out June 23rd or 27th. Yeah, it's at Cannes Film Festival. I think this month they're showing it. But anyway, you can see me hopefully on the big screen there in June. I have a real big beard they put on me. I look like ZZ Top, and I'm missing some teeth. So you may not recognize me, but you'll maybe see it in my eyes.
Well, we really like to ask the tough questions here on the stage. So, as a final question, what do you guys like to do in your spare time?
That's the tough questions. Yeah.
Music, I do a lot. I spend a lot of time, now that I've met my fiance, she has kids and they're becoming like my own, so chasing them around, it's a lot of fun, and being also trying to continue to watch shows that I love. I'm a fan of many shows too, so we enjoy that. And just spending time outside, outdoors, and the sun when it's sunny, and the rain when it's raining. So,
what do we do in our spare time, folks? Huh? I have 2 boys, 7 and 9, so they take up a lot of that free time. Let me tell you. But also, I've started doing public speaking on mental health with different people, and I really enjoy that. And I think that'll probably move somewhat online. So doing those, and then I live, I'm in the Los Angeles area, by the San Gabriel Mountains. So we have wonderful hiking and creeks, and I love spending time outdoors. So I try to bring the boys up there whenever I can pull them away from their video games.
I like to think of myself as a writer. I started writing a novel during the pandemic when everybody had to stay home. It's like, well, I can open my laptop. So I wrote 4 chapters of a book that I have never finished. So I would love to get back to that. Also, it's time for me to start writing my autobiography because I'm getting old. So that's coming next as well. But my favorite thing in the world right now to do is to spend time and play with my 3-year-old grandson. Yeah, more than anything.
Thanks a lot. That was great, but there's one last thing we need to do on the stage. We need to do a photo of the 3 of you with the audience. So please don't stand up, don't leave. Just sit and enjoy the photo. And the 3 of you just come here. or probably down there, as you like. And you could cheer up a little bit, probably. Woo! Yeah! That's great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bagby, Tobias Jelinek, Doug Jones, thank you.
And you'll be back later today with Walter. Yeah, great. We're looking forward to it.
Und natürlich freuen sich alle über einen Besuch von euch an ihrem Stand, falls euch noch Fragen einfallen, die ihr ihnen stellen möchtet.